I believe this will be what separates you as a coach at Oregon is the line of scrimmage. Is that why you believe in it so much? You've lived it?
Yeah, I do. This is, I mean, it's a passion. It always has been. And I had really good coaches. I mean, those guys were exceptional teachers, motivators, and mentors. And then it actually is what helped me get an opportunity with Coach Saban over at Alabama. And, you know, line of scrimmage was always a big deal, you know, in the conference and over at the university. So it led to some unbelievable experiences, professional development opportunities, and I'm just a firm believer that without it, it's hard to take that next step. It's hard to finish the process to get that the big goal, the one that we all want.
So Coach, I always think the coolest thing is like what you guys decide to put in your office. So if you had to choose, like maybe give us a top 3 things where you're like, okay, this is super important to me and here's why.
It's super important?
Yeah.
All right, super important. Super important, I have your back picture of my 2 little dudes. Okay. Now that's when they're tiny.
Right.
Okay, see this Rocco's has like a bowling ball and Mateo is, but this is about what, 2.5 and 1, so now they're now 8 and 9, but that's the picture always, you know, you have each other's back, so I think that's huge. A lot of good, I've had a chance to meet so many presidents. That's meeting President Obama a few years back, and you know, got to meet President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, so I've been very lucky.
So you're president.
He's just like 3 presidents, no big deal.
No big deal.
That's great.
Yeah, get off my back.
I was 1 year young for Ronald Reagan, but that's my wife and I when we were dating, and when she was, like, she's a lot prettier than I am.
She's
like,
smoking hot.
She
Let's
is.
just be
Let's
honest.
be
She's
honest.
so cute.
She wins.
So she wins.
You outkicked your coverage.
But that's great recruiting, right?
Yeah,
there you go.
That is
That's a sign of
recruiting.
great recruiting, but a sign when we were dating and in Atlanta for the Peach Bowl. Peach Bowl was not a good memory. The dating was.
Dating.
And I love this because that's a game changer right there. All right.
How did everything change?
Everything. Well, the best coaches I had always said, look, do things every single day as if you're doing it for your very own son. And everyone takes that to heart. But when you don't have a family yet, you really don't understand. And then that happens, and you hold this being that's in the larvae stage, right? I mean, it's so gooey and
Precious.
so it lacks any type of rigidity. But you know, all of a sudden, you know, you go eye to eye contact, and then it's forever. It's a game changing moment. And now that whole do it like it's your very own son, it's real, and it's real beyond what words can explain. So, Autzen, I wouldn't trade that. I would not trade Uncle Phil. You see him up there.
Oh, Phil Knight bobblehead?
You know.
Tip his head. You can reach that.
Of course.
There we go.
There we go. He's chilling.
He's just chilling out, you know.
Art of War.
Tell me about this. Tell
Art
me
of
about
War
this.
can never compromise the art of war. Sun Tzu, absolutely.
Oh,
That's not the Reader's Digest version either. That's a good version.
That's the real one. It's been thumbed through. It's clearly been read.
Oh, yeah.
You've been through it. It's like thumb some pages.
Oh, get to a folded down page. Let's see which folded down page means something to
It might be
you.
a crease page instead of a folded down page.
Prove you can read.
Trying to see the most important thing on this page. You cannot question the work's authenticity. Authenticity probably is important.
I'm gonna write a book report for you.
All right,
thank you.
That's heavy. I've tried to read this. It's super heavy.
It is, but you know what? It's my favorite book. I do love that book. No one believes me. I was actually athlete of the year at my high school. Okay, so we can pick on linemen all we want. That was true. The players don't believe me. I'm gonna keep this.
Is that like the presidential test you had to pass, where you're like
It's
the flexibility,
huge.
the speed?
Well, back then we didn't have much of the sports science stuff. It's like put 400 pounds on your back, see how deep you can get, and come up.
Christopher Columbus High School,
Christopher
1988.
Columbus, absolutely. Great picture, you know, an SEC championship moment. There's Cam Robinson
Oh yeah.
in there, Jonah Williams, Irv Smith. There's OJ, you know. There's German Mario. He was a guy that, you know, spent time the whole year with us as a volunteer. He was also Mario. I was Mario. It was interesting. But there's Greg Olson as a freshman back in the day.
Oh my gosh, I remember that
You
team.
know.
Yeah.
He's bald and my hair's still dark. So,
Wow.
so
He's skinny. This is neat too because I think Ryan Kelly is going to be one of the best young linemen in the NFL coming up, and he's written you a handwritten note. Why does that matter?
oh, they all matter. I keep them all and stay in touch with all these guys. I mean, this was a really, you see, they're funny. I mean, they actually took the pose of the Joe Moore Award. See Cam's point like him. And
Oh, that's
bosses.
cute.
They're doing that deal. But I thought this was a cool little section because you know, he wins the Remington Award. These guys win the Joe Moore Award. Cam Robinson's the National Freshman of the Year. Ross, I believe, is the Freshman All-American also. Just a lot of unbelievable stuff that year. A lot of stuff accomplished and learned, and great moments shared. And I wish we had this trophy. This is the Morris Trophy. It's for the best O-lineman and D-lineman on the West Coast. And Terrell Crosby. This is one of my favorite moments ever as well. Right here, I went over to the banquet over in Seattle, and the trophy's humongous. But this is all you get to take with you. So
trophy stays.
Yeah, so it gets to be a part of it. And
this is interesting to me too. I just need to know just why this.
A friend was in Mexico and saw it and sent it back, and I'm like, well, I mean.
Dia de Muertos?
Yeah, exactly.
What's happening?
Exactly. What do I do with it? So I'll tell you, these things over here, I think you guys would like. All right, so this is back in. Let's see how far back do we go. Okay, here's an 89. University of Miami.
Number
89,
one.
89. That's good. This is a 91. So you can see how these things have changed. Because that's a 91.
They got bigger.
Well, we got diamonds in it.
They do.
They
do. Are
all
they real?
the way
And we'll never know.
That's okay.
You know, this is. You know, we thought it was important for such a cultural change last year. That won the bowl game, the guys deserved it, and so we did. We went with it. We said going forward, we'd only accept the New Year's 6 ring or a playoff ring. But we thought this last year, with the hard work done, the way those guys changed the culture, that they deserved it. I wanted them to have something to remember it by. That's FIU. That was at one time was an unwinning, an 0-12 program with probation, multiple scholarship losses, contemporaneous APR penalties, and almost a little over 3 years later, conference championship. That was cool. And then, these guys won a few championships over here.
Well, there's like a whole Alabama natty.
Yeah,
compare the size. What did we say? This is 89.
That is 89.
All right, here we go. 89.
Yeah, it's not fair.
It's not.
It's like supersized
Do
Pac-Man.
I have permission to put it on?
There you go.
Wow, it's as big as my whole hand. It's as big as your one finger.
My one finger.
Wow.
So I've been lucky.
You have.
But you've accomplished too. Like you've been a piece of these, right?
I've been a part. I've been
Yeah.
a part, and I think that's the part, that I think I enjoy most. I got the most out of it. I got to learn. I got to see it firsthand. And actually, I got to learn more from the ones that didn't end up here. Because lost a title as a player really twice. At Miami, lost a title. At Alabama, was on that field during the kick 6. When that
Oh
thing
yeah,
was
the
the other way.
Auburn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Most miserable moment imaginable. So I think all those days and those trophies that didn't appear on the trophy case and the rings that didn't result of that, those were probably the best learning moments of them all. So overall, just fortunate as can possibly be to get to experience all that stuff and now activate it, put it into play.
Okay, we'd be remiss if we didn't ask about this year's team, where we are, where you feel you are.
Yeah, we're
with your
getting
program.
we're getting stronger, and I'm talking about as a program.
Yeah.
At a pretty rapid pace. And we're always going to say culture trumps scheme and everything else that goes with it. We're always going to win with people. And we all feel, from the players, coaches, everybody, that there's a galvanizing right now of our program. I hope that's a correct word. But there is just this union, this bond is very genuine, it's real, and it's getting stronger because of time invested. We really have taken a deep dive into each other as people, as forget the player or coach tag. We just feel that, in this world, let's call it what it is. Whenever there's management, people have kind of the, tendency to not trust well, we won't have that here because that's not the way it works. We're here to serve, we're here to help, we're here to guide, mentor, teach. And we call it the class on the grass, right?
Like
That's our classroom right there, and that's what we do. But we're relentless about it. Our approach is very high octane, high energy. I hope you get to catch some ball today that we're running around out there because you'll see there's just a standard that has been set that will not go backwards. And so it's our job to keep our foot on the gas.
You said something to us earlier that I thought was important. Is Oregon, like you say Oregon nationally, the first thing people think of is the uniform, the flash, the cleats. But you want more than style. What was it you said that you really want?
Well, we want to make sure everything's about substance. We're never going to deny the fact that we have the blessing of Nike and Phil and Penny because what they have been able to to resource our program with is incredible. And it's not just nice looking, it's actually from a performance standpoint, it's the best service, there's nothing like it. But it's never a reason to go to a school, it's never a reason to, I don't know, to play college football. It's a benefit, it's a byproduct. And for us to be where we want to be and accomplish what we want to accomplish, it's got to be about substance, it's got to be about physicality, it's got to be about toughness, it's got to be about effort, it's got to be about being relentless as a competitor. All the things that you hear every single day, right? You hear those words and they have to mean something. And our guys today, I thought it was a great point made by one of our guys. They said, you know what? I think last year we embraced the grind, and I think this year we're attacking the grind because it's going to have to take there has to be a change in mentality or some type of elevation every single year to take a next step. Because look, going from 4 wins to 9 wins, that's
huge.
But now when 10, 11, and 12, whatever you're shooting for, it's exponentially harder, each and every one of those things. So it requires a mindset that can only be built from January to August without skipping the days.
And I like that. Like, we're not going to sit back and handle the grind. I'm coming after it. Like, that's a definitive difference of mindset, right?
And that's the difference in maybe the Stanford game. That's like just one step closer, and it's so small. But like you said, like that's the hardest gap to close.
It is. It is. And you can't skip the steps.
Yeah.
You know, there are some painful moments and painful steps that go with this. And if you skip them, you're going to feel them later.
Yep.
Well, you know, we have felt some of our consequences, or we have learned from them. We like to think we've learned from them, because if you don't, it's hard. It's hard to take that next step. The guys they're ready. They live a very humble and hungry and driven life, because we won't let it be any other way. That's just the way we roll around here. You know, we're very community service oriented. We're very high achieving, just demanding in that sort of sense, and it's infectious, and it's good. And now the guys they're taking ownership in that locker room, and they're doing a great job.
And you got guys like Justin leading the pack. Man, we rode around with him today. Probably the most humble human being I've been around, and you're just thinking, you'd be a number 1 overall.
And you're the face of this
You're the
program.
face. He's like, no social media, just
No social media at all.
nothing. Doesn't care.
No social media. Incredible.
He's such a down-to-earth kid. How does that trickle down to the rest of your offense and team?
I mean, think like you said, could have been the number 1 pick, arguably, right?
Yeah.
And really, without much hesitation, just sat here with his family, and I was kind of, all right, how's this gonna go? Here are my facts. But the truth of the matter is, I'm always gonna give information, and so they can make a decision. I'm not gonna try to deter a guy from accomplishing something when he's ready. But before we could even really get into it, it was like, Coach, I'm staying.
Cool.
Presentation not needed.
Yeah.
High fives across the board. Let's go. You know. So, and I think he understands that that's going to be there for him. He wants to leave his mark. It's his legacy now, like it was his grandfather's back in the day. That's a really big thing. That means a ton to him now. He's been coming to the stadium since he's been knee high, and it's been his lifelong dream. And he's surrounded by great guys that he loves and respects, and they love and respect him. They've invested a lot of time now. I don't know if you saw our social media this offseason. We've been to a Portland Timbers game.
Yeah.
Okay. We've been paintballing, and it hurts. Okay. But it's a great paintball place. We've been go-kart riding. We've been top golfing. We've been beach barbecuing, cannonball, and belly flop competitions. We've been dune buggy riding, and had our senior retreat out there, breaking bread out in Sun River, and talking about our whys. It's very deep for him, and at the same, he understands completely. Nothing is guaranteed. We got to work for every single bit we get, and we understand the challenges we have this year, because we got to go on the road at some tough places against some great opponents, and that's the beauty of this opportunity for him and the whole team.
Okay, last question you just made me think of it is, what is your why?
I'm a boring guy.
No, you're not. What is your why? It's not boring.
Oh, it's simple. It's always been the family and faith, and when I say family, of course, my wife, my children, brother, mother, but like these guys, the men and women that work in this building, that family's not a tagline here. It's just not. I mean, when we do things, there's not a class system where, okay, if we're gonna have this particular night out for the Y's, only wife X, Y, and Z can go. Jessica does an unbelievable job making sure everybody's involved. And when there are certain events, our kids will be running around here like crazy, and Some of the players might take them and go play for hours. You might not see them. They'll feed them, you know, a little Carl's Jr. in their belly, come on back, and good to go. It's just, it's my passion. I mean, I love it. There's no way, I really can't think of exactly how to verbalize the whole thing and put it in I just, blessed beyond belief. You know, at the end of the day, these guys, they went, you know, they stood on the table for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I already love this sport. I already love this place. I was completely 1,000% in, 24/7, 365. And when someone does that for you, you want to find a 25th hour, you want to find an extra week in the year, it becomes that much more. But all those things combined, it starts with the family, and the family, this is part of the family. It's all blood here.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus. We'll see you there.